What would happen if a massive power outage suddenly drowned the entire planet in darkness? Without electricity, a huge part of the population would die, and for those who remain, the struggle for survival starts. This is the story of the Blackout. The film starts with Oleg, a serviceman from the army, and his girlfriend Elena having a date night in a restaurant somewhere in Moscow. They are flirting and enjoying a good time together. Everything seems normal for everybody, until the lights begin to flicker. An airplane fails and stops its engines, making it fall in midair. Everything goes black, and the entire world is now in a total blackout. That is except for the area around Moscow, Ukraine, Finland, and parts of Belarus. The people in the light areas continue to watch the news, shocked with surprise by the reports of a total blackout all over the world. There's zero communication contacting the rest of the shutdown countries, so good luck trying to call your friends and family. Some speculate this was caused by a massive terrorist attack, but the cause remains unknown. It wasn't long before they designated the dark areas as quarantine zones and the places with electricity as circle of life. Government send drones to the quarantine zone, but they disappear. They decided to send the military to check the status of the quarantine zones, but they were surprised when they found that the people on the dark side died on the spot when the blackout hit. Every living creature, like animals and insects, was dead. At least that is what they thought until a recognition squad was attacked by an unknown individual who managed to escape and hide in the shadows. A month passes and the government sees no progress in finding out what happened. All soldiers are drafted to the research teams. This is where we meet our other protagonist, Yuri. He took a break from the military to take care of his mom with dementia, but in the light of current events, he's forced to leave her with his neighbors next door until he can get back. The next day a new group of soldiers arrives at their post, and Lieutenant Marina reveals the forensic reports of the dead bodies found in the quarantine zone. The cause of death was determined to be neurotoxin poisoning, produced by their very own bodies. Apparently, something in the blackout triggered this chemical reaction in their bodies. Oleg and Elena are getting ready to deploy to the quarantine zone, but their plan is interrupted by alarms ringing on the radar, as it shows massive movement coming their way through the forest. But they have no visual of the enemy. They try to shoot at the enemy but they can't see it. The next morning we got to see all the mess in broad light. Funny enough, the enemies seemed to be just some wild bears. But these bears were smarter than Yogi Bear, cuz they pulled a strategic attack on a military level somehow. Somewhere else in the city, a man named Sasha, he's been having vivid dreams and can hear and see things since the blackout. Sasha feels uneasy after the attack. He seems to be able to fear the fear of the soldiers as they were attacked by the bears. Sasha is approached by a man named Evgeniy, who seems to be an ally, and he reveals that many people are still alive in the quarantine zones, but they are being controlled by something or someone. Sasha also can sense this because he was at the edge of the circle of life when it all happened. This is why Sasha could feel the bear attack, and the weird vivid dreams he's been having are somehow related to what happened. But Evgeniy doesn't tell Sasha how he knows all this information, which immediately alarms Sasha and he calls the guards. As the guards arrive we find out that he's been talking to Evgeniy in his mind, and he's not present in the room. At the same time in the army base, the soldiers are ready to go patrol more parts of the quarantine zone, cuz it went so good the first time. As the first team reaches the quarantine city where a plane crashed, they are welcomed by what seem to be humans, even though they are mere puppets controlled by someone. Oh, but it's not a friendly welcome. They have tanks and lots of weapons. Yikes, so much for a friendly welcome. The soldiers get ready to fight. Yuri and the second team are accompanied by a reporter named Olya, and they manage to reach a town safely and establish a new observation base that will serve them for the next few days. Group 3, where Oleg is, enters the city of Kiev. Some days pass as the soldiers continue on their watch in location. One day a man named Ed goes up to Sasha, and when he reveals his face, he proves to be a humanoid alien who wants to use Sasha's abilities to find the one behind the blackout, who's actually Ed's brother, Ra. The lieutenant manages to catch and arrest Ed, who promises to reveal everything he knows about the blackout and what's going on. In the interrogation room, Ed starts by revealing that his people are natives from a different planet in another galaxy. They don't die from natural causes and only age to a certain point. The only way they can die is by getting killed. Their son died, and they had to escape their planet to find a more suitable one that could sustain life. They found out about the Earth and sent Id and Ra to the planet to prepare it for the arrival of everyone else. 'Cause like they said in Jaws, they're gonna need a bigger boat, well, a bigger spaceship in this case. Id and Ra arrived a couple hundred thousands of years ago on Earth when humans could use psychic powers and telepathy, which explains the pyramids and other unexplained infrastructure in the world. These powers and abilities were problematic for Id and Ra's species, so they created a bioweapon to make their superpowers disappear. They first used it to make Earth more suitable for the aliens, but now Ra wanted to wipe humans out of the planet so they could have the planet for themselves. He caused the blackout and the deaths of billions of people around the world to put his plan into action. Now he just has to control the remaining humans in the quarantine zones to eliminate the humans in the circle of life, and his plan would be complete. Of course, this is all hard to believe for the lieutenant, but she doesn't really have a reason not to trust Id. It is also revealed that the other aliens would be arriving on Earth in just 2 days, which means they have just that time to eliminate Ra. They discuss their next step. Meanwhile, Oleg and his team capture a kid that was trying to gather food from a store. They feel sympathy for the kid and help out, but Ra takes control of the boy and forces him to attack the soldiers. They are forced to shoot the kid and report the situation to the lieutenant. This whole encounter starts a fight with the aliens. By the moment the night arrives, thousands of Ra's zombies from the quarantine zone attack the outpost, starting the big battle for colonization. Yuri and his team are too outnumbered. They are forced to ask for reinforcements and shoot flares into the sky to be located. As the reinforcement units prepare to deploy and attend the call for help, the sky is filled with flare signals from dozens of places, asking for help. All the surviving normal humans have been outnumbered in the colonization battle. Humanity's only hope is Id, who tells the lieutenant that they must use Sasha's powers to locate Ra and stop him so that Id can control Ra's puppets. Taking Id and Evgeniy into the army base, the lieutenant hopes to find Sasha and locate Ra. At the same time, Yuri's squad has been ambushed and his soldiers have been getting killed one by one. Only 2 remain, Yuri and Olya. They get on a vehicle to make an escape and try to find another squad to join forces in hopes to survive. They set out to find Oleg's squad. Id is still trying to help Sasha focus to know where Ra is hiding, and that's when Sasha is finally able to locate him at the top of a skyscraper in Kiev, and he's controlling the zombies. After Sasha calms down, they are headed for Kiev, which is where Oleg's team is, and where Yuri and Olya are going. This is sure to be a cute reunion of protagonists. As Id prepares with the team, they are informed that the zombies' puppets have now attacked the circle of life. The lieutenant, Id, and the soldiers have to leave. There's no time to waste, but Id decides it's better to leave Sasha behind, as he's safer back there. On their way to Kiev, Id actually confesses that he doesn't really care for Sasha's life, but Ra could use Sasha's powers to locate them were he to be with them. This turns out to be true, as Ra quickly found out the location of Sasha, and missiles were fired at that location. Even though the soldiers fought back, it was futile, and pretty much everyone in the base was killed. This gets the lieutenant angry and yells at Id for getting her people killed, but Id excuses himself calmly by telling her that it was the only way they could have escaped without alarming Ra. Their deaths were necessary and inevitable to save humanity. The day after, Yuri and Olya finally find Oleg's team, and the lieutenant also joins the party. They get the rest of the team up to date with all the information they have. So apparently this group could very well be the only remaining humans that could save the planet and put an end to the extinction of humanity. There's no time to waste, there's a planet to save and a bad guy to defeat, so they immediately head to the skyscraper where Sasha saw Ra. They are attacked by a massive crowd of human puppets, with one of them even jumping against the vehicle with an explosive device. While most of the soldiers remain inside the tank vehicle shooting at the puppets, it seems like they never end. The soldiers shoot continuously to keep them from climbing to the tank until they reach the skyscraper. The commander and his soldiers remain at the bottom of the building to hold a barricade against the puppets. Meanwhile, our team of protagonists goes upstairs to fight Ra. Yuri and Id get to face Ra, and even though Yuri plunges against him, Ra is much stronger. Ra decides Id would be a much better adversary. The fight is very intense as they are both very powerful and they know each other well. But this one isn't the only intense fight going around at the moment, as on the lower floor most of the soldiers have died, and the remaining crew of the commander is attacked by a vehicle filled with explosives and they all die. Now the puppets rush to the top floor to aid their master, Ra can sense this all and it actually distracts him, so much for a helping hand. This split-second distraction gives Eid a chance to land a fatal blow and rip out a device from Ra's chest and fills the space with a grenade, literally blowing up his brother. Now Eid controls all the puppets, and the seemingly only real humans left alive are Yura, Oleg, Olya, Elena, Zhenya, and the lieutenant. Of course, this is hardly a victory, considering that most of humanity is now dead. Eid basically lectures them about how humans are deep down irrational, with broken emotions. They move with violence and hate even with other options available. This was the reason Ra did what he did and tried to wipe them out of existence. However, even though Eid agreed with the concept of his brother, he had a different idea as to how to approach this all. Eid doesn't want to eradicate humans, he wants to be the absolute god to humans, and have all the power. This is why he chose not to warn the humans about the Blackout, as he needed the humans to die to see him later as a messiah and savior. The lieutenant goes to shoot Eid and points her gun at him for he just killed billions for his sick fantasy. At the same time Zhenya plunges at Eid to kill him with a knife. Eid evades the attack and gets a distance between them. And Zhenya ends up accidentally stabbing and killing the lieutenant. Eid transforms into Oleg's father to fool him, but Zhenya sees through his lies and tackles him off the roof, falling into their deaths. We only have Oleg, Olya, Elena, and an injured Yuri left. A giant spaceship lands on Earth. They watch as the door of the ship opens. Our survivors just await for the space invaders? Get it? To come out of the ship. But no one comes out. They decide to enter and explore the ship. All the aliens are still sleeping in cryo capsules. Our protagonists decide to start killing thousands of them by destroying their oxygen supply before they wake up. That is until they get to the children's section of the capsules. They really can't find the strength to kill thousands of innocent children. We see in the last scene how all of these alien kids leave their capsules and their ship, ready to explore and get to know the new planet they will call home. To watch more videos like this, please subscribe our channel so you don't miss any new videos. Thanks for watching.